Hey guys, homicide in town. This video is about the emergency 5-gallon water jugs. They are recommended, and I'm going to discuss a couple of facts why they are recommended and a couple of reasons why they should be considered on one of the top lists. Your home preparedness guide and home preparedness kit. Reason number one, there could be contaminated water in your area, and you might not be able to drink that water within your area, or there could be some type of emergency disaster. And there's been several incidents where there's been water contamination, or some type of something's going on with the water, and the water's coming out brown, it's coming out yellow. It has these different metals and crazy things that's in the water. It's contaminated and stuff like that. Well, some people say, well, I just give me a water filter. Okay, let's say you get a water filter. That water filter is going to wear out. Then now you got to get another water filter. Now you got to get another water filter. It's good to have the water filters, don't get me wrong. But the thing is this. Do you really want to filter every water that you drink, or would you just like to open up some water and drink it? I would like to just open up some water and drink it. I don't want to have to keep purifying water, treating water every time I drink it. Now it's good to know how to do it, which I know how. It's good to know how to purify it and treat it, and also filtration water. So I know how to do all three. So, but the thing is, just because you know how, do you want to do it all the time? My answer to that question, no. I don't want to have to do it all the time, unless it's an emergency. But if I got other alternatives to do in an emergency situation, like buy a couple of these, this is very useful in an emergency situation. You know, it's vacuum sealed, no air is in here. There's a seal you have to break on the top. There's a seal right here you have to break. Then you have to puncture something in there to get into the water. There's a handle on here. They're good for storage. This can do one person for at least a week. So that, with that being said, FEMA recommends 1 gallon per day. So 1 gallon per day, this can do a person for at least 1 week. Well, we're going to go to 72-hour mark. This can do a person nicely in your household per person. So you can get these from your local Walmart, your Home Depot, Menards, Sam's Club. I got these from Home Depot. I paid about $7.50 a piece for one, $7.50 for this one. Came out to like 15 and some change. Now we're going to talk about water dispensers. Reason why they are good. Not the electricity ones, the ones that does not require electricity. No electricity required. So it's versatile for kitchen, gym, workshop, or emergency situation. Requires no electricity. And it's good to have these too. You're drinking room temperature water. Some people might say, well, I want my water cold or hot. I want to be able to make some coffee and stuff like that. But okay, let's say you have a water dispenser that does require electricity. Now we're going to talk logic and common sense. Let's say your power goes out. How are you going to get your water out of that dispenser that requires electricity? Some people might say, well, I got a generator. Do you really want to plug a generator up into your water dispenser every time you want a glass of water? I know I don't. So I'm just being realistic here. Some people might not have that problem and say, well, you know what, I got solar generators and stuff like that, and I could just plug it up and get my glass of water. Do you really want to, if you got limited electricity, and you have to depend on yourself for just a couple of days or something like that, until emergency personnel arrive, do you really want to go through all that of burning a lot of your resources just to turn on a machine to give you some water, when you can have a machine already like this here a device like this, I mean, not a machine, but a device like this, you just pull the thing down and it comes out. And it requires no electricity. To me, that's killing two birds with one stone. Some people might say, well, I'll just treat my water. Okay, now we're going to talk about water treatment. Logic and common sense. Okay, you got a 6-gallon water jug here. Alright, so let's say you you place your water here. Now it's air contamination. Now you got to worry about treating your water. So now you got to put water purification drops, water treatment tablets, bleach. You got to put, you got a filtration, the purification. You got to do all this stuff now because you store some tap water, let's say. You don't know if the water's contaminated. You don't know if the water got heavy metals in it. So it's a lot of things you got to go through. Some people might say, well, you don't know if these are contaminated. You don't know. Well, I don't think these are contaminated because they come from the water plants, and I don't think that they're gonna, you can actually sue the water plant if they give you some contaminated water. So I don't think that they will actually do that, But this would be a great alternative for an emergency situation. And do you really want to have to keep treating water, stored water? Then you got to cycle the water out too. So now you got to worry about cycling the water out at least every 30 days because it's not good to have water stored that long, without cycling it and treating it. With these, you can let these sit for years, 1 and 2 years, without even touching them, without even treating them. So let me know what you guys think about these. Do you think this is a great alternative for your home prep if in a situation, if you were in an emergency situation? I mean, if you were in that type of situation where there's a power outage or some type of stay indoors scenarios. Usually during an emergency situation, they have you to stay indoors anyway. They do not recommend anyone to leave their home in an emergency situation. And hurricanes and tornadoes or power outages or whatever type of emergency situation that may occur, earthquakes, and you just name it. Natural disasters come from all walks of life. It could be a city, it can be anywhere, it can be a rural area, wilderness area, it doesn't matter. It can happen any given moment. And you have to have some water stored on hand just in case it happens, especially if you're living in those areas where there's limited of water resources and stuff like that. So, I strongly recommend a person get you can put about 5 of these in your basement, and you won't lose any sleep because you got some water on hand in an emergency situation. And